Our world is a shared experience, fractured by individual perspectives.
Our world is a shared experience, fractured by individual perspectives. Our world is a shared experience, fractured by individual perspectives. Imagine if we could all feel understood. Hey, Brian Miller here, author, speaker, magician, podcast host, and audio nerd, and welcome to Audio for Content Creators, where we help you sound better and level up for all your content creation needs. And if you're new to content creation, you might be completely confused by all the different types of microphones, not just the price points, but the different kinds as well. And in this video, I'm going to talk you through the pros and cons of 3 primary types of microphones that you might be considering:
Lav mics,
boom mics, and on-camera shotgun mics. And before we get into this, because there's always at least 1 or 2 people in the comments that are like, why can't he just tell us what the best microphone is? There is no best microphone. It's like saying, why can't you just tell me what the best car is? A Lamborghini's great, unless you're a family of 5 in the suburbs, right? In which case a Lamborghini is a terrible choice. Just because it goes faster doesn't mean it's the right choice for you. The best tool is always the one that's right for you. And when I say right for you, I mean right for your voice, because a mic that makes your voice sound great, the same mic might make my voice sound terrible. Your room or the environment that you're recording in matters. So if you're recording in a spare bedroom in your house, you might end up choosing a very different type of microphone than if you're recording in a professional studio, of course, or in your backyard outside. But the project matters as well. If you're a run and gun filmmaker or a vlogger, you're going to have very different needs and considerations than someone who is sitting in a home studio with a semi-permanent setup doing talking headshots like this. Now, this video is not a review of these microphones, but to keep things somewhat consistent, I'm using all Rode microphones in this video. The lav mic that I'll be using in a little bit is the Wireless Go, the Rode Wireless Go. I'm not using it right now. I'll show you that in a little bit. The on-camera shotgun mic is the Rode Video Micro, which of course is the kind of, if you've started to Google around it, it seems to be the mic of choice for vloggers and content creators on YouTube. And sitting over my head, the boom mic position is the Rode VideoMic NTG. These are all very different mics at very different price points, and they're all designed for different kinds of purposes, which is what we're going to be talking about in this video. At no point will there be any post-processing in this video, even when I'm doing these talking head shots at the intros and outros and transitions. So at any time you're listening to audio, whatever mic I'm using will be in the lower left of the screen down here. It'll tell you what mic I'm using. All of the microphones are getting plugged in directly to this Panasonic G85 camera. And of course, if you do like any of the microphones you hear, there are links in the description to all of them. Those are affiliate links, which at no cost to you support my work in this channel. Without further ado, let's get into the first type of microphone, which is the lav mic. I think I just pointed to the completely wrong spot. I forgot that I had it up here. Lav mic. This is a lav mic.
So let's kick it off with lav mics. You are probably more familiar with these just from seeing them in the world and on newscasters and media personalities all your life than you are with any other type of microphone if you're not into mics or into audio. And the primary advantage to a lav mic is that it's an interesting middle ground between having a mic sat on top of your camera where the microphone has to stay wherever the camera is and be at the same distance as the camera, and the hassle of setting up a boom microphone to put right overhead out of frame for the talent every single time, right? A lav mic, particularly a wireless one, because this is the Rode Wireless Go, a wireless lav mic is going to mean that you can quickly just clip it onto somebody, put the pack in their pocket or clip it onto their belt loop, and then almost immediately start recording. And then your camera can be as far away, it can change positions at any point, and the audio won't change because it's sat on their clothes somewhere. Typically, if you're wearing a button down of some kind, you would sit the lav mic right about here in the middle of the chest. That's a more ideal position than where I have it now. But if you're wearing a t-shirt or something like this, you can clip the lav to the shirt collar. Now, the primary advantage of a lav mic is actually also its primary disadvantage. The other two mics we're talking about today are both cardioid microphones, which means they pick up from the front of the mic, a little bit to the sides, and almost not at all from the back. So when you use a cardioid mic, like the Video Micro, like the VideoMic NTG, a mic like that is great for rejecting the room noise. If there's anything going on in the background, you just make sure that that noise is behind the microphone on the other side, and it'll mostly reject it. You won't get it in your recordings, which is great. The lav mic, most lav mics, not all, but the ones that you'll be looking at are omnidirectional, which means they pick up from every which way, every angle. Now, that's an advantage and a disadvantage. The advantage is it doesn't matter where you clip it to the talent. It doesn't matter where you set it up. You don't have to think about mic positioning apart from, do I want it on the chest? Do I want it on the collar, or that sort of thing? Because wherever you put it, it's going to pick up the voice. The problem is, wherever you put it, it's also going to pick up everything else. Right now, this lav mic is picking up my voice, but it's also picking up any audio bouncing off of that wall and the ceiling. It's picking up anything bouncing off the floor. If I was sitting at a desk and I had a desk right here, it would definitely be picking up the bounce of my voice off of the desk, which would give you a really hollow sound. And hollow is the sound I most associate with lav mics. They just don't sound natural because no one is ever listening to you talk with their ear on your throat or right on their chest when they're talking. We're always a little bit further away from them. So when you have a mic that's 8 inches away, or even a mic that's 3 feet away, even though it's not as pristine and intimate, by and large, it sounds more natural because that's the way we actually hear audio in the real world. Now, of course, a great advantage to wireless lav mics is that, again, they're wireless. You're not tethered to the camera by a cable or anything else. The disadvantage, of course, is that wireless always introduces problems. First, you might end up with interference. The new microphones, wireless mics, go over the 2.4 gigahertz frequency spectrum, which is great unless you've got a whole bunch of stuff in the room that goes over the 2.4 gigahertz frequency spectrum, which of course I do. Most baby monitors today, video monitors for babies, use that, which I've discovered recently because our firstborn is on the way. My wife is 7 months pregnant. We're starting to look at baby monitors and they all go over the 2.4, and I was just like, oh, is that gonna be a problem for me if I've got the baby monitor in the studio with me while I'm working? I don't know. We'll find out. Plus, if they're wireless, that means they either need replaceable batteries, or in the case of the Wireless Go, they both need to charge. The pack that's sitting, okay, I'll show it to you. The pack has to be charged, and the receiver that's sitting on top of the camera has to be charged, which is, that's 2 more things in your life that you got to keep charged up. Now, this particular unit has a pretty good battery life, but I hate charging things. I'm tired of charging things. It's nice when things just work, isn't it? Well, a lav mic is a good choice if you're on the move, if you're mobile, if you're running and gunning, but you want to capture a more intimate sounding audio and a more consistent sounding audio than having an on-camera shotgun. So a lot of times the easiest thing for run and gun is to have the on-camera shotgun because it's just stays on top of the camera and you never have to worry about your audio. But if you've got if you know it's the same person you're going to be following around for a while, like my buddy Adam Krutinger, who has been doing some studio tours recently with his new Maker Chat kind of work. I don't know, Adam, I'm doing a bad job of explaining what you do. But he had been using the on-camera shotgun system, and the audio was just inconsistent as people would get further away from him, as he was panning while they were talking to show something in the studio, the mic pans with it, right? That's a big problem. So for him, being able to put a wireless mic, a lav mic on the talent means that any time that they're talking and he shows something else, the audio stays exactly the same. The audio doesn't follow the camera anymore. So that's a huge, huge advantage and the main reason that you would want a lav mic.
On-camera shotgun mics. What are the advantages? What are the disadvantages to this type of microphone? Currently we're listening to the Rode Video Micro, and if you're noticing that it sounds kind of far away, a little bit distant, a little bit roomy, it's because it is kind of far away. Camera's about, 3.5, maybe 4 feet from me, which means if you're sitting the microphone on top of the camera, the microphone is also 3.5 or 4 feet away. Now, anytime you're going to put more distance between you and the microphone, the recording is going to sound like there's more distance between you and the microphone. There's no magic going on when it comes to microphones. There's just a misunderstanding. People think, oh, it's a shotgun mic. It's designed to pick up from afar. Yeah, it is. But the further away it is, the further away it sounds. Just because it can pick up from further away doesn't mean it's going to produce the same sound. But of course, there's got to be advantages, right? Well, the primary advantage to an on-camera shotgun mic is that it's so easy. You set it up on top of your microphone, you plug it in, and that's basically it. You just leave it there. So this is a phenomenal choice for run and gun vloggers, for indie filmmakers maybe, if they're doing kind of documentary work. If you got to be moving around constantly all the time, if you're doing corporate work, just having it where you could walk into everybody's office for their 5 minutes and it's just already set up, it's connected to your camera, it's on the camera, you don't have to deal with extra audio. It's great. Ease of use is definitely the number one advantage to using an on-camera shotgun mic. The primary disadvantage is what I already said. It's far away. It's as far away as the camera is. So unless you plan on having your camera right up in people's faces, you're going to get a less clear sound. You're going to get a sound that has a lot more of the background noise of the room, some of the hiss. You're going to have to use a lot more gain. The audio preamp in the camera has to work a lot harder because I'm further away. And the preamps built into cameras are not great. They're really noisy, which means you're going to get extra noise from the camera. You're going to get extra noise from the room. If there's echo or reflections or reverb, you're going to pick that up. If there's people talking in the background, there's a lot of disadvantages. This is one of my least favorite ways to capture audio. Having said that, I made like 200 vlogs when I used to vlog on my other main YouTube channel for years. I made like 200 vlogs using an on-camera shotgun mic, and a whole, probably 100 of them were with this one exactly. It works, it's easy. When I was vlogging, running through airports and other countries and hotels and getting set up for the events that I was doing, I didn't want to think about additional audio. I didn't have time to set up systems like this. I didn't want to be dealing with charging batteries on wireless mic packs. So on-camera shotgun mic was definitely the way to go.
And lastly, let's talk about boom mics. A boom mic is not really a specific type of microphone. I mean, depending on who you ask, it's really more of the approach, because a lot of the mics that folks boom overhead like this are actually the exact same mics that they would be putting on top of the camera. They're shotgun mics. Shotgun mics are traditionally designed to be used outdoors, but of course, most content creators use them inside as well, whether they're on top of the camera or boomed overhead like this. The point is that whatever microphone you bought that you can use on top of your camera, you can also set up in this position by using something as cheap as what I'm doing right now, which is a $15 microphone stand with an adapter on the end of it so that I can angle the mic at me. And then I've just got a 10-foot extension cable running from the mic all the way down to the camera and being plugged in directly. So what are the advantages of booming a microphone overhead? Well, for starters, you're almost always going to get a much clearer, much cleaner, much warmer sound out of your talent than if you were to leave the same microphone over there on the camera. And that is because you've literally reduced the distance between the microphone and your talent and the capture source by a huge degree. I mean, this microphone is only 8 inches away from my mouth, so it's going to sound closer up because it is closer up. It's going to be more isolated because it is more isolated. It's right here. And just for the sake of completeness, this is how the same Rode VideoMic NTG that was just boomed overhead sounds when it's sat on the camera over there. I just wanted to show you that even though that's a $250 mic versus the $60 Rode Video Micro, it's not so much the difference in price that matters when it comes to the tonal difference between the boom and the on-camera position. It's really just the position. The distance that microphone is right now is what's making the primary the primary difference in what you're hearing, right? When that $250 mic is sat right overhead, it sounds incredible. But likewise, if I sit the Rode Video Micro, the $60 mic, right overhead, it sounds like this. See, this is a $60 microphone. All I've done is I've moved it to a boom position as opposed to sitting 4 feet away from me. So the boom mic option, as you can hear, is a lot less about the microphone itself and a lot more about the position that you've got it in.
which means you'd really want to choose this, anytime you can. This is my preferred way to capture audio. Anytime you can boom a microphone, and just so you know, you usually want to angle it so that it's aimed at the chest, not aimed at the mouth, because typically when you boom a microphone, it's getting to such a close angle that if you try to aim it at somebody's mouth, if you're off by a little bit, you might be capturing a bunch of background noise from behind them, right? Because it might be capturing from behind their head. Whereas if you angle it at their chest, there's a lot broader of an area to stop any background noise from coming back and getting into the mic. Just a little tip for you. So having said that, I've got this microphone 8 inches away. When I'm cropped properly, it's just out of frame, right? You don't want it in frame. The only reason it's in frame right now is because I'm doing a demonstration and showing you the microphone. For most of us content creators, this is the best option when you are in a home studio kind of environment in a semi-permanent setup, because it's kind of obnoxious to tear down and set back up over and over and over again. So if your content requires that you're constantly in new locations, this might not be your best bet. So what are the disadvantages of booming a microphone? Well, one I already kind of mentioned, which is it's a pain to set up and tear down over and over and over again. Also, you got a whole bunch of extra cords running around if you're going to connect it to the camera. Typically, I wouldn't be connecting this directly to the camera. As I said earlier, I'd be connecting it to a portable audio recorder that was sat over here, which means I could use a shorter cable, making it more likely I'll capture good quality audio. And the preamps, the audio preamps built into these portable audio recorders, if you get a decent one, are going to be vastly superior to the camera, to the camera's preamp. But then you have the added step of syncing audio in post. Now, all the different kinds of techniques I'm talking about here, how to set up a boom mic on the cheap, how to use a portable audio recorder, how to sync audio in post. I'm going to leave all links in the description to videos I've done, tutorials I've done on those techniques, so you can continue on this path if you'd like to. And that's the comparison. You've heard 3 different types of microphones: the lav mic, on-camera shotgun, and a boom mic setup. A lot of different options here, a lot of different choices. I want to know from you though, in the comments, let me know which one do you typically use. If you already use one, are you considering switching or changing? Did anything surprise you, or was it pretty much what you expected? I want to hear from you in the comments. What did you like best on my voice in this situation, and what are you planning on using? Let us know your thoughts in the conversation down below. Having said that, my name is Brian Miller. Thanks so much for sticking with me. Like the video if this was useful to you. Subscribe if you haven't already. Come back anytime to sound better and level up, and we'll see you soon.